Nigeria is not quarreling with US. And I tell you, this very government is not quarreling with US, but they are afraid of the unpredictability of Trump, who may not be able to be quiet and see elections go mad in 2028. So you have to find a way to do something about it, and is to illegitimize Trump's opinion on Nigeria when that time comes. That is all that I see that is leading to the BRICS movement.
Every greatness is built by minds that search for answers beyond the ordinary. You can build one. Welcome to the Made Man Podcast.
I'm Dr. Faith. Welcome to the Made Man Podcast. I came across a recent interview that Dele Farotimi had with Channels Television with Kayla Megwa, and there were lots of questions that she posited to him, which Dele, in his usual fashion, gave epic responses to those questions. I have picked out those questions because they are very important, and that's the questions that Nigerians have been asking online regarding the recent threats of the US government to come to Nigeria to eliminate the terrorists who have been involved in this ongoing Christian genocide that has been present in Nigeria now for decades. So the questions that she put together are the things that I want to respond to, because it's important that we understand some things that is happening in Nigeria, and also the position that Nigerian government stands. And very critically, I want to respond to Nigerian involvement in BRICS and my understanding why Nigeria is making that movement at this point in time. Before we get there, please do like, share, and subscribe. If you have been following this channel, do us good by liking and sharing this channel. Follow us, please. Subscribe so that we could reach to other people with the information that we bring on this channel on a weekly basis. For now, let's listen to see the questions that she has, and then I will react to them.
I'm Kayla Megwa. President Donald Trump sneezed and the whole world caught a cold. This time, for the second time, he's accusing the Nigerian government of allowing the killing of Christians. It's important to get exactly what he said on his Truth Social. Quote, "If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the United States of America will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists for committing these horrible atrocities. I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast." End quote. So a few things have happened after that, most notable of which is the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, and claims of a Christian genocide in Nigeria is all over the media space. Claims that the Nigerian government have denied, and even said was a product of failed intelligence on the part of the United States. Now, this conversation has been back and forth for decades. And as a Nigerian myself, I have lost Christian friends and Muslim friends to terrorism in Nigeria. Nigeria's insecurity, as all things in Nigeria, is complicated.
You see, I'm pausing here. I'll just make a brief comment, and then I'll play the rest of the videos, which is very quick, and I'm going to talk about other stuff, that she's pointing out. But I want to correct this notion that she's putting out here. This statement about her personal self being a Nigerian who has lost Muslim friends and Christian friends to terrorism in Nigeria waters down. In fact, if you listen to this again, and I can still take it back a little bit and play, that her personal analogy in this context is irrelevant. There was no need of bringing it, because that personal experience that she shares here waters down the issue of genocide. You are implicitly taking a side with the government, and what you're trying to tell us here is that you, as a Nigerian, you are stating authoritatively that Nigerian terrorist issue cannot be equated right now as an issue of genocide, of Christian genocide, but rather a complicated security issues that needs to be looked into. So in as much as she has not openly said it's not a genocide, her statement is in denial of the Christian genocide. And this is the problem that I have, with all these established media that become implicitly, the mouthpiece of the government, because that's the stand that she has taken here, even though she has not openly stated it. She has made a wonderful introduction. That need of your personal experience and then making Nigerian terrorism issues a complex issue, and at the same time not calling out the issue that is going on as it is, means that you as a Nigerian is living in denial of the Christian genocide, because it's the silent position that she has taken, which to me, if it is not her stand, that her introduction of personal experience is avoidable in this case. But that's not what I'm here to respond to. I'm going to bring out other things, just calling out the subtle deception of media, which is needless at this point, because we all know the truth.
And even said was a product of failed intelligence on the part of the United States. Now, this conversation has been back and forth for decades. And as a Nigerian myself, I have lost Christian friends and Muslim friends to terrorism in Nigeria. Nigeria's insecurity, as all things in Nigeria, is complicated. And many voices in this country say defining Nigeria's insecurity solely as a Christian genocide is simplistic. But is it untrue? Can the United States government be altruistic? While some Nigerians believe an intervention under any headline that will stop the killings is welcome, they're a bit skeptical of what we would have to give in return for this help. Others are totally opposed to any guns blazing help from a president who calls our country a disgraced country, who made America the police of the world. Thanks, but no thanks. Is this love for the Nigerian Christians, or is there something else going on here? Is this punishment for recent alliances? Is it our insistence on a two-state solution in Gaza? Is it a refusal to take in refugees? Is this the opposition taking politics too far, as the FCT minister said recently? And even though Nigeria's constitution does not tolerate religious persecution, as said by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, has it turned a blind eye to these persecutions?
All right. I'm going to be picking out her points one after the other. And for that, I'm going to drop my headset and we can talk. Right. So, one of the first things that she said here is, now the second time, yes, and of course we know that Trump did designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern in his first tenure, and it was very unfortunate that happened towards the end of his tenure, and it did not take time when Biden came to office and Biden had that revised. That revision, after Biden took office, gave the terrorists additional impunity to resume these killings again. And of course, we know what already was happening under Buhari when Buhari also met with President Trump at his first tenure. All of this terrorism started so much with Buhari government while they were preparing to take office from Jonathan. It was the quest to remove Goodluck Jonathan from office that started all of these terrorism issues to the level that it is right now. There has been a little patches of terrorist acts previously in Nigeria, but this was where it got heated. This was where all of these people were imported from all over Africa, from the rest of the world into Nigeria for a military or violent takeover of government if Goodluck Jonathan refused to concede. And everybody was aware when he was saying that that the blood of any Nigerian is not worth his stay in office, and he decided to step down. So now the second time, yes, we understand and everybody knows. Another thing that she said, people are reacting that Donald Trump called Nigeria a disgraced country. You may not understand the disgrace if you've not been traveling. Earlier this year, I traveled to Dominican Republic, and at the airport at my exit, I almost missed my flight. I was singled out. For what? Just because of my green passport. And that was not the issue. And I confronted the guy, I told him, I said, you guys have to stop doing this. If you had listened to Adeola, also, you will see her own issue that she faced. I think that was on her, 40th birthday or thereabouts, that she went outside to celebrate with her family. Because the rest were citizens, she almost got deported. In fact, she was deported, so to say. But they deported her. Thank God that, they deported her back to the US. Why? Because she was traveling with Nigerian passports. So the disgrace is enormous. And you may not understand, Trump has positions that can make him say that. Earlier this year, we had the news of a Nigerian who defrauded Trump campaign organization. I mean, his inauguration committee, the money that people were raising for Trump to enter office, a Nigerian defrauded that organization. So when we talk about the level of our crime, you ask yourself, how many arrests has Nigeria made this year alone that they're handing over to the US? What is the problem if he calls us a disgraced country? You think he was not following the saga of the drug issue? The matter was there. It was there to the world. It was a drag. So when you talk about the position of the presidency in itself, our election, the foreign delegates that came to Nigeria talked about our election and everything that is going on in Nigeria. We see it all. The issue of corruption is right there in the public. We're talking about this government, we're talking about the road. What has been done? There are things that are happening in this government every day that when you look at it, world's most populous black nation in African continent that was once a glorious country, when you talk about in military might, Nigeria had good history. When you talk of military expeditions and peacekeeping, at least within the continent of Africa, we are good. What happened? The country is disgraced. The citizens are feeling it every day. You ask yourself, why does Nigeria not have ambassadors? I was reading on the news the other day, this issue of Trump posing, $10,000 on citizens of other countries when they're coming to US. Mali just rejected it, right? And imposed a reciprocity fee also on US citizens going to Mali. Trump called it off. That's a standoff. That's a country that knows what it wants to do. What did Nigeria do? Where are we? Another question is going to be, who made America the police of the world? That was a question that she raised. And I can assure you, there's nobody that made America the police of the world. America can make themselves the police of the world. This life and the nuclear politics is about might. And we're happy right now that there is somebody who cares. It's about might. What you are going to be asking is, does US have internal policies that actually allow it, that give it legal standing within its own territory to attack other countries? In terms of UN policies for terrorism, there is no law that promotes America going to attack any other country. And United States does not also have laws that mandate it to attack terrorists in other countries, except that they see it as a threat to US security. So if any country or a terrorist organization anywhere, there is a way that the executive of the US is going to be able to interpret those terrorist operations as a thing of security concern to the United States, then there is a legal standing no matter where you are in the world for US to bomb the shit out of you. If you also do not have the capacity to retaliate, because if you do, they will not have to think twice. And for now, Nigeria does not have that capacity. And so Donald Trump is not making a threat to Nigeria because Boko Haram right now, there is no intelligence published anywhere that poses a threat to the United States. Those days when Nigeria was also under security concern, you saw it. They played the politics. Nigeria got out of it when there were records of some terrorists trying to come to US through Nigeria. We saw some of those news. Right now, there is no intelligence and there is no news anywhere indicating that. So the US internally has a policy. The International Religious Freedom Act has an internal policy that allows US, in fact, it is an international policy of priority or of high concern to US to assist countries and possibly act militarily to intervene in places where there is religious intolerance or religious persecution. And that's the reason why you see Trump making that warning, because legally in the United States, he is authorized to act in defense of religious freedom. So the question is not even who makes US the police of the world in this regard, because right now they have the capacity to do that and they can do it. And if Nigeria does not act, they will actually execute the threat and there is nothing you can do about it. The only thing that you have to do right now is either that you act to stop the terrorism and to stop the genocide that is ongoing, or you have the capacity to stand off against US, which Nigeria do not. And it's not a question of do we have a military base in the US? Are they going to use Port Harcourt or not? No, I'm telling you that US from the Middle East, US from where they are right now, where their naval presence, I think, is very much situated around South America because of the standoff that is going on with Venezuela. US can actually bomb the shit out of these guys because wherever they are right now, there are satellite images. And another thing they were talking about, they said that this is a product of failed intelligence. That is bullshit. US has Nigerian data more than Nigeria themselves. All the money transactions that is going on in Nigeria, they have the data. And I can assure you that they have intelligence. The CIA is working. There is hardly any data that they need that they cannot get. What protection do we have? Guys are hacking banks every day and banks are not talking simply because of their prestige. So it's US that wants information that they will not have. So they do have that intelligence. There is no failed intelligence. If US wants to monitor Nigeria, their drones can fly over Nigeria. Do we have air defense systems? People are bringing these arms to these terrorists that you saw their videos online every day. They are bringing arms. Adam Soshomole was saying it, that are using helicopters to come down and bring arms and also fly these raw materials that are mining in these terrorist enclaves out. And the federal government does not know because there is no air defense system. There is nothing that shows you if Nigerian airspace is compromised. Do we have a satellite? Do we have a defense system that is monitoring anything? No, anybody can fly into Nigeria and fly out. And we know. Nigeria Air Force knows. So if US drones is flying across the globe in places where they have the capacity to collect intelligence, how much more Nigeria that has free airspace? They can collect any intelligence that they want. Air, land, water, your spirit, they will collect any intelligence that they want. So there is no failed intelligence in this situation. Let's take that out. There's no failed intelligence. We are happy that there is someone who is to help. And another question that she posited to Delefaro Time is in that plate is US altruistic? What do we have to give? Trump has not asked you for anything. If you need his help, Trump will ask to negotiate. I know somehow we cannot rule out entirely, but if this continues, Trump will bomb the terrorists without asking for anything. Where Nigeria would have something to give to the US is if you want a prolonged US partnership in wiping these terrorists out, then you're seeking United States help. There is going to be a request for help. And if you want the intelligence alone, you can share. And of course, right now, Nigeria is being overpowered, overrun. I wouldn't say even overpowered or overrun. Because if Nigerian military and our Air Force engages these guys, they will wipe them out. It might not be easy. It might not be a 1 week thing. It might not be a 1 month thing. But significant gains will be made that they will lose all of the territories that they control in Nigeria. So Nigerian government in itself has a complicit behavior that you may not be able to rule out with the fact that you are seeking peace deal and you know where terrorists are, you are not taking actions to wipe them out, you are going where they are to seek peace deals with them. You're bringing Boko Haram repentant militants into the military. So there is a complicit behavior. And remember that Shetima made a comment that Tinubu is going to manage the economy while he is going to focus on the security. Understand that anytime people go into politics, there are concessions. Tinubu won the North. You don't know the concessions that he made to have all the support of the North. Because if you watch the politics, you find out that the behavior of Buhari during his time and during this tenure looks like somehow Buhari actually seemed to be supporting Yemi Osibanjo. I don't know, for whatever reasons. We could see his actions. Tinubu took it by force. And he had the support of the northern governors. He had the support of the northern governors. All of the whole issues that happened with money and all the rest of them, I told people that the issue with the CBN, right that moment, the issue of the money printing, you are aware. People like Erufai and the rest, we are working directly against Buhari. And the reason that they were giving for the printing of that money that Buhari endorsed is simply because they did not want the old naira to be used, because politicians had stashed that money. They did not want it to be used in the campaign and to rig election. And that's why I told people that no matter what happens, Tinubu was not going to forgive the former CBN governor. I told them as soon as Tinubu wins this election, that the former CBN governor is going to be prosecuted. He's going to prison. I told some friends around, because that policy worked against Tinubu because the money was with the APC. The governors, APC governors, they were running helter-skelter what to do. And that's why they were suing up and down. The North came out with all of their support for Buhari. Northern governors was against Buhari at this juncture because they were in collusion with Tinubu. So you would tell yourself, what concessions did he make with the North that Shettima could come out boldly to say, this guy will handle economy, I will handle security. And this security that we have in Nigeria right now looks like something that is being run by the North. The reason for these changes that you're seeing within the security post is the attempted coup that are still trying to manage the information is the reason why you're seeing these changes. Probably Tinubu is standing up now to say this cannot happen. I need to take control. And some of the appointments you could see right now, there is no more Northern controlled appointment that he has in the people he has promoted, in the military cadres where they had the changes. So you need to follow politics gradually and decipher things for yourself to know what the government is doing. Another question that she asked here is it because of BRICS or Nigerian stand on a two-state solution with Gaza? And another thing that she said, I don't know if it's Interior Minister or Minister of Foreign Affairs, he says this is opposition taking politics too far. No, US is not Nigeria opposition, and I can tell you, BRICS movement that Tinubu started, let me break this down to you. And this is my opinion. You could argue it. It's strategic. And I want you to understand how politics works. When Buhari won, or when the election was announced for Buhari, after the winning of that election, there was pressure on the United States government for Goodluck Jonathan to concede, that he needed to concede power. Do you know what that meant? It means that US has acknowledged Nigeria election. It means that Goodluck Jonathan staying on seats, he has become an illegitimate government in the eyes of the United States. And Obama had very strong control on NATO. If Obama does not acknowledge Nigerian election under Goodluck Jonathan, if Goodluck Jonathan had decided to nullify that election, US could support Nigeria in invading Nigeria, because now they have ground right and NATO and all of their forces can come with US to shoot down Nigeria and remove Goodluck Jonathan by force or by death. Now, because they are giving legitimacy to intervention. And that was why you had the military presence, the paramilitary presence of these Boko Haram people that the North had already imported. You remember that the Secretary of State then under Obama came to Nigeria and left Goodluck Jonathan and went and was having meeting with the Northern governors. And that was when they were planning Goodluck Jonathan's removal before the election. You also remember that Goodluck Jonathan came to US for arms, and this government still refused to sell arms to us. So what I'm letting you know that it's about candidacy. It's not usually about the country. It's about the policy of the people that is in power. And that was the policy that Biden continued. It was intercepted by President Donald Trump's first tenure. And that's why I tell people it's an interception in the program of the UN and the program of the globalists. Trump is an interception. That was paused. Nigeria got into a country of particular concern in the first tenure. Now, in this second tenure, remember when Tinubu won his election, Biden was on seats. And of course, with David Hundeyin and all the rest of them, there were issues of Biden acknowledging Tinubu. And if you read a lot of headlines that you could still find online, I still see this. It says, US President Biden, other world leaders yet to congratulate Tinubu, because the issue of the drug matter was really very high, that almost every world leader, and the way Nigeria election was conducted, the EU representatives, observers, the US observers, they all gave their report, and most of their report acknowledged the irregularities that happened in the election. People's Gazette has this, and that was March 13, 2023. 2 weeks after election, US President Biden yet to congratulate Tinubu. You know what that meant? Nigeria was fidgeting. Because if Biden refuses to acknowledge Tinubu, it has become an illegitimate government in the eyes of the international world. And Biden could influence the other NATO and other US allies to not acknowledge Tinubu. And that meant that they could go ahead to start placing sanctions on Tinubu and his campaign organizers and other governors that colluded with him. Because if Nigeria election is seen as illegitimate election or rigged election, and the US decides to take action on that acting government, they could place Nigeria under sanctions. And Nigeria would be in very deep shit. Later on, he did acknowledge. Tinubu came to US once, and I don't know if he's been here again. And everybody was watching. And remember, the first time that Biden met with Tinubu in UN events, Biden stayed away from Tinubu. That news carried it up and down. Why? They were scheduled to meet. However, the news then said that Biden team wanted him to stay away from Tinubu because of image sake. So why I'm stating that is that I am coming to the issue of BRICS. Nigeria under Tinubu going to make alliance with BRICS is strategic. You need to get this and pay attention very well. US has one of the largest embassies in the world under construction in Nigeria. US under Biden is the one that suppressed and not allow the issue of Tinubu's drug cases or files to be released unredacted. There were pressures, but the court held it. And you know how it went to. If that matter was blown up, Tinubu would not have been the president. US helped him to be in power. Biden, 2 weeks later, acknowledged. So it's unprecedented right now that you see Tinubu going against US by standing with BRICS. I tell you, it is not a policy change with his handlers or with the US international political groups that he's working with. They know what they're doing. And what I perceive that they're trying to do is to put Nigeria at loggerhead with Donald Trump, so that in the second election that comes in 2028, if they also rig that election and the US does not acknowledge that victory, it will make it to look like US already, or that Donald Trump is already having issue with Tinubu and Nigerian government. And that is the reason why he is refusing to acknowledge that election. It's strategic. And still get me, Trump is not a so much good friend with NATO allies. And I can assure you that. Look at what is happening, like when Trump was asking for Greenland and all the rest of them. Who else went there? Macron, to go and support Greenland, that is not a place that needs to be sold, and all the rest of them. Macron has been doing his possible best to present himself as the new EU leader. And of course, with Starmer and Boris Johnson, when Boris Johnson was leading, they've been doing their possible best to become the new face of authority in the EU. And they are directly not standing on the path that Trump is standing. And it's symbolic, because when you look at US politics and NATO politics, you will understand that EU and most of the NATO members are having similar positions with the position of the Democrats in the US. And the same way US internal politics right now is heated up and divided on the left and the right, that's the Democrats and the Republicans, is the way it is internationally. Internationally, Trump is almost standing alone internationally. And this is the same people who brought Tinubu to power. UK, we are part of Tinubu's arising to power. Until now, BBC gives him good coverage. So his movement between France and the UK, you need to understand the time that he spends in France. Remember, now when France was kicked out of Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, David Odeyi released the document. Nigeria, at the inauguration of Tinubu, was almost going to war with Niger by the order of Macron. It was a kind of shadow fight for France. It wasn't for the US. It was for France. And if you look at that, you will understand that it has collusion with Britain. It is a collusion with the ideology of the globalists that you see with Democratic Party of the US, and you see that with EU. These are the people that the current Nigerian government is working with. And this is the same reason when you come to the issue of Israel currently, look at it presently deep, and you find out that UK, France, and some of the NATO members are now also acknowledging Palestine and asking for two-state solution. And that is the same position that Nigeria is taking. Are you getting it? It's not the position that Trump is taking, but that is the position that the former government under Biden and Obama were taking towards Israel. It's a two-state solution. And it's the same solution that Nigeria is taking. And it's the same solution that you could see that all of the European governments and US administrations that worked with Nigeria is taking. It's a two-state solution. But going to BRICS, you might look at it as too far. Nigeria cannot go to BRICS. For now, Nigeria does not have that mustered authority to actually declare themselves full member of BRICS to work against United States, because Nigeria is highly integrated into UK and the US, except for any reason that UK is undernet working with BRICS against US. At least for now, publicly, that has not been declared. I was reading something the other day, and you can check that also for free, that Britain just stopped sharing intelligence with US over Venezuela because of the bombings that the US is bombing on the drug ships as alleged. If you look at that, you see that headline. Under the former administration, you would not have seen that. So you will see that there is a subtle political enmity, so to say, that is not publicly stated between the UK, between France, between some other NATO countries, few of them, against the United States. You could see that. And you could see that, of course, well pronounced with BRICS. So Nigeria taking that position is like gradually trying to make Trump's opinion on Nigeria illegitimate. Because if there is a little bit of tension that sparks up between US and Nigeria, if the next election comes and it is rigged and there is a protest, or maybe the process of conducting those elections is not something that goes smoothly and Trump refuses to acknowledge it, is going to be seen as an existing problem with him and the federal government of Nigeria. Look at all the visa ban and all the rest of the things that is happening. What level of engagement have you seen Nigeria with the United States? You find out that since Tinubu took office and since Trump came in, Tinubu distanced himself from the United States government. You could see that the handshake between Nigerian government and the United States government has been very low. It's for a reason. This is international politics. They are already planning and playing ahead. You know why? Because Nigeria is going to have a handover before Trump will do handover. Trump has the ability to influence Nigeria election, acknowledging it or not acknowledging it, and by working with other nations, and by putting pressure on other nations on how they could be able to treat Nigeria election, how it goes. So it's international politics. The BRICS movement with Nigeria is a shadow. It's a foreplay that Nigeria is trying actually to protect their interest ahead. At least that is how I see it. And the last thing that I want to talk about in this issue is, does Nigeria constitution really go against religious intolerance? Maybe by constitution, yes. The Nigerian government does not show religious intolerance. No, they don't. If not, Supreme Court of Nigeria cannot be jailing somebody who killed his attacker. Nigerian government cannot see people being lynched and there is no single person prosecuted. Nigerian government cannot go to negotiate with terrorists who have taken the life of citizens and go as far as integrating them back, not just into the society, but into Nigerian military arms. Nigerian government cannot say that they show religious tolerance if they cannot give the victims of religious intolerance justice. A lot of revelations is coming out. People in the north who have been denied even certificates of origin because they're Christians, denied grants that the state government give to students simply because they are Christians in their northern states of origin. Nigerian government cannot say that they are intolerant to religious attacks. Maybe by constitution, not by behavior, not by actions of the Nigerian government. So until things changes, you can decide to deceive yourself by paper. We will follow what happens by your actions, and we will continue to report by your actions. I hope that my analysis have helped you. These are my insights. And of course, when you want to follow politics, you have to read in between lines and understand actions, that they don't wake up. People deliberately do what they do. Politics don't happen by accident. People plan ahead in years. And all you need to do is to follow the headlines and ask yourself questions. Why are these things happening? Nigeria is not quarreling with US. And I tell you, this very government is not quarreling with US, but they are afraid of the unpredictability of Trump, who may not be able to be quiet and see elections go mad in 2028. So you have to find a way to do something about it, and is to illegitimize Trump's opinion on Nigeria when that time comes. That is all that I see that is leading to the BRICS movement. And of course, if what we have in the US right now is a democratic government, I can almost tell you that the issue of terrorism that we're talking about right now may not have received any media coverage. And thank God for Elon Musk buying Twitter. It may not have received any media coverage if there was no platform like Twitter, if things were still being censored. And Tinubu could not have been going to BRICS if Biden was still in power, or maybe if the Vice Kamala won this election. There will not be any movement to BRICS. So you need to understand why that movement was there. Please do like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Dr. Faith, and this is Made Man Podcast. Thank you for joining. Bye.